Caesar salad. It is one of the most recognized salads in the entire world, and it was not invented in Italy or France. It was born in Mexico. An Italian immigrant chef named Cesare Cardini created it in Tijuana in 1924, reportedly during a busy holiday rush when his kitchen was running low on supplies. He threw together what he had: romaine lettuce, Parmesan cheese, croutons, olive oil, egg yolk, garlic, and Worcestershire sauce. The result was so good that guests from across the border kept coming back for it. Over the decades, anchovies were added to the dressing, giving it that deep savory punch it is known for today. Caesar salad is now served in restaurants on every continent, and it remains the go-to salad for people who want something simple yet bold. Greek salad. It goes by the name horiatiki in Greece, which roughly translates to village salad, as it was originally the kind of simple meal a farmer would eat in the fields. The recipe is honest and uncluttered. Chunked tomatoes, thick slices of cucumber, red onion, green pepper, Kalamata olives, and a generous slab of feta cheese on top, all finished with olive oil and dried oregano. There is no lettuce in a true Greek salad, and Greeks tend to be protective about that. It is a dish shaped entirely by the Mediterranean climate, where summers are long and the produce is naturally sweet and juicy. The salad works best when served very cold, with the feta salty and firm. In Greece, it is eaten year-round, but it feels most at home on a hot afternoon near the sea. Caprese salad. This is one of the simplest salads in existence, and also one of the most elegant. It comes from the Italian island of Capri, where it was first served in the 1920s at the Grand Hotel Quisisana. The original version was little more than sliced mozzarella layered with ripe tomatoes and fresh basil, finished with extra virgin olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. The three ingredients mirror the colors of the Italian flag, which is why it is sometimes called insalata tricolor. Its fame spread significantly in the 1950s when King Farouk of Egypt visited Capri and publicly declared his love for it. The key rule with caprese is never refrigerate the tomatoes before serving, as cold dulls their flavor. When the ingredients are at peak quality, no dressing in the world can improve it. Salade Nicoise. France has a long tradition of taking salads seriously, and this one from the city of Nice is perhaps their greatest example. It was shaped largely by French chef Auguste Escoffier in the early 20th century, who formalized the combination of tuna, hard-boiled eggs, Nicoise olives, anchovies, capers, green beans, potatoes, and cherry tomatoes arranged on Boston lettuce. The city of Nice is so protective of this salad that its former mayor once wrote a cookbook in protest after seeing poor imitations served under its name in restaurants. The dressing is simple, usually just olive oil with herbs. What makes Nicoise distinctive is that it works as a full meal rather than a side dish, providing protein, carbohydrates, and vegetables all at once. It is a summer salad with real substance. Cobb salad. This one was invented in Los Angeles in the 1930s, and like many great dishes, it came from hunger and necessity. Robert Cobb, the owner of the famous Brown Derby restaurant on Wilshire Boulevard, reportedly rummaged through his kitchen late one night looking for a quick meal and assembled whatever he could find. Lettuce, watercress, hard-boiled eggs, crisp bacon, roasted chicken, avocado, tomatoes, chives, and Roquefort blue cheese. He chopped it all together, dressed it with French vinaigrette, and shared it with a friend who loved it so much that it ended up on the menu the next day. The Cobb is a composed salad, meaning the ingredients are arranged in neat rows rather than tossed together, which makes it visually striking. It is one of America's most protein-rich salads, designed to satisfy as a full meal. Waldorf salad. Few salads have as prestigious a birthplace as this one. It was created at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City in 1896, originally made for a charity event. The man credited with its creation is Oscar Cherky, the hotel's maitre d'hotel, who combined crisp apples, celery, and mayonnaise into a refreshing cold dish. Walnuts were not added until decades later, becoming a permanent part of the recipe by 1928. The Waldorf salad is an unusual combination because it contains no greens and no savory vegetables. It is essentially a fruit and nut salad held together by mayonnaise. Over time, countless variations have emerged using grapes, mandarin oranges, and even marshmallows. The hotel itself updated its version in 2011, swapping plain mayonnaise for truffle-flavored crème fraîche and adding candied walnuts. Despite being over a century old, it still appears on fine dining menus worldwide. Tabbouleh. This is one of the oldest and most consumed salads in the Middle East, originating in the Levant region, the area covering Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Palestine. At its core, tabbouleh is a parsley salad, not a grain salad, despite what many Western versions suggest. The correct balance calls for far more finely chopped flat-leaf parsley than bulgur wheat, with tomatoes, mint, onion, lemon juice, and olive oil rounding out the flavor. Chef Yotam Ottolenghi has emphasized that tabbouleh must be made with bulgur and never couscous, and the parsley must be hand-chopped, not blended. The salad is a staple of mezzi culture across the Middle East, commonly served alongside hummus, flatbread, and grilled meats. It is rich in fiber and micronutrients, which is part of why it has become popular globally in healthy eating circles beyond its original region. Fattoush. This salad from Lebanon is proof that great food often comes from resourcefulness. Lebanese farmers in the northern regions of the country would find themselves with stale flatbread and whatever fresh vegetables were in season, so they crushed the bread into pieces, fried them in olive oil, and tossed everything together. The name itself comes from the Arabic word fat, meaning to crush or break into small pieces. Over time, the recipe evolved to include romaine lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, radishes, onions, and herbs, dressed with lemon juice, olive oil, and sumac, a tangy red spice that gives fattoush its distinctive sourness. Pomegranate molasses is sometimes added for extra depth. Each country in the region puts its own spin on it. Jordan adds yogurt, while Israeli versions sometimes include feta cheese. In 2025, Taste Atlas ranked fattoush fifth among the best salads in the world. Panzanella. Italy's panzanella is the original zero-waste salad. It was created centuries ago by Tuscan peasants who could not afford to throw away day-old bread, so they soaked it in water or vinegar to soften it and combined it with whatever vegetables they had, typically ripe tomatoes, onion, cucumber, and celery, finished with olive oil and fresh basil. The key to a good panzanella is getting the bread right. It needs to absorb the juices without becoming a soggy mess, which is why aged or crusty country bread works best. The dish is deeply tied to the Italian belief that simple, high-quality ingredients need very little interference. It is a summer salad at heart, best made when tomatoes are at their ripest. Today, panzanella has been embraced by chefs worldwide as a symbol of sustainable, flavor-first cooking. Som Tam. This is Thailand's most famous street food salad, eaten daily by millions across Southeast Asia. Despite being closely associated with Thailand, it actually originated in Laos, where a similar dish called tam mak hung was made using local produce. The Thai version, which became especially popular in the northeastern Isan region, is built on shredded unripe green papaya, which provides a firm, crunchy texture with very little sweetness. The dressing is assembled the traditional way using a mortar and pestle. Garlic, chilies, salt, dried shrimp, peanuts, palm sugar, lime juice, and fish sauce are pounded together and then tossed with the papaya, tomatoes, and long beans. The result is a simultaneous explosion of sour, salty, spicy, and sweet, all in one dish. It is commonly eaten with sticky rice and grilled chicken, and it remains one of the most widely consumed salads anywhere in Asia. Shopska salad. Bulgaria's most iconic salad is a simple, colorful dish that became famous not just at home but across the Balkans. It was developed in the 1950s by Bulgarian chefs who were specifically tasked with creating dishes that would attract foreign tourists. The salad consists of chopped tomatoes, cucumber, onion, and roasted or raw pepper, topped generously with finely grated Bulgarian Cyrene cheese, a brined white cheese similar to feta but firmer and saltier. A drizzle of sunflower oil finishes the dish. Locals are insistent that olive oil changes the flavor in a way that undermines its authenticity. The name Shopska refers to the Shopi people from the Shopluk region, the border area where Bulgaria, Serbia, and North Macedonia meet. It is a staple of summer dining throughout Bulgaria, and is widely considered the national salad. Shirazi salad. Named after the city of Shiraz in southern Iran, this is one of the most refreshing and minimalist salads in Persian cuisine. It is made with finely diced tomatoes, Persian cucumber, and white onion, dressed with fresh lemon juice, olive oil, and dried mint or fresh herbs. The vegetables are cut very small, which gives the salad a delicate, almost uniform texture that is quite different from the chunky style of Greek or fattoush salads. It is served alongside almost every major meal in Iranian homes: rice dishes, stews, grilled kebabs, acting as a bright, acidic contrast to richer flavors. The salad is naturally vegan, extremely light, and ready in minutes. Its simplicity is its strength. In Iran, it is so embedded in everyday eating that it is considered less a recipe and more a basic part of the table like bread or rice. Coleslaw. Few salads have as long or as widely traveled a history as coleslaw. Its origins trace back to the Dutch settlers who arrived in what is now New York, where they prepared a dish of finely shredded raw cabbage dressed with vinegar and oil, which they called coleslaw. A recipe matching this description appeared as early as 1770. As the dish spread through America, it evolved significantly. When mayonnaise became widely available in the mid-1800s, the tangy vinegar dressing gave way to the creamy version most people recognize today. Coleslaw became a fixture of Southern American barbecue culture, where its cool, acidic crunch cuts through the richness of smoked pork and beef. Modern variations include broccoli slaw, Asian-style slaw with sesame dressing, and apple fennel versions. Despite being one of the world's simplest salads, coleslaw has proven to be one of the most enduring. Potato salad. Potato salad exists in almost every food culture on Earth, and each version says something different about where it came from. The German version, Schwäbischer Kartoffelsalat, is made with boiled potatoes, bacon, onions, and mustard in a warm vinegar dressing with no mayonnaise at all, giving it a sharp, tangy character. The American version moves in the opposite direction, using elbow-shaped pasta or waxy potatoes bound in a thick, creamy mayonnaise dressing with pickles, celery, and hard-boiled eggs. In Japan, potato salad is softer and sweeter, mashed slightly and mixed with cucumber and ham. What unites all these versions is the potato itself, which after being boiled becomes a perfect vehicle for absorbing flavor from whatever dressing surrounds it. Potato salad became a mass-market staple in America during the mid-20th century, appearing at every picnic and cookout, and it has never left. Cinnamono. Japan's approach to salad is fundamentally different from the Western tradition, and cinnamono is one of the clearest expressions of that difference. The name means vinegared things in Japanese, and the most common version is a cucumber salad made by thinly slicing cucumbers, salting them briefly to draw out moisture, then dressing them in a mixture of rice vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and a small amount of sugar. The result is a salad that is simultaneously sweet, sour, and savory, delicate in texture and gentle in flavor. It is typically served in small portions as a starter or side dish in Japanese restaurants, meant to cleanse the palate and prepare it for heavier courses. Variations include the addition of crab, shrimp, or wakame seaweed. The discipline and precision behind cinnamono reflect a broader Japanese philosophy in cooking, that restraint, balance, and technique matter more than abundance. Ambrosia salad. This American creation occupies a unique space between salad and dessert. It first became popular in the 1870s, during an era when the expansion of the American railway system made it possible to transport exotic fruits like pineapple, citrus, and coconut to inland cities for the first time. Those fruits were considered luxuries, so combining them in a bowl felt genuinely special. The name ambrosia comes from Greek mythology, referring to the food of the gods. By the early 20th century, the recipe had grown richer with the addition of marshmallows, whipped cream, and pecans. It became a fixture at Southern family gatherings, church potlucks, and holiday dinners. Modern versions often use sour cream or cream cheese as a binder alongside the whipped topping. It is a salad in name only, sweet, creamy, and indulgent. It functions more as a chilled dessert that happens to contain fruit. Gado-gado. Indonesia has elevated the salad to a dish of national pride, and gado-gado is the centerpiece of that achievement. The name means mix-mix in Indonesian, which perfectly describes its nature. It combines a colorful array of vegetables, some raw, some steamed, with hard-boiled eggs, fried tofu, and tempeh, all brought together by a rich, creamy peanut sauce made from roasted peanuts, palm sugar, tamarind, garlic, chili, and shrimp paste. The balance of sweet, salty, and sour in the sauce is what makes gado-gado unforgettable. The recipe varies by region across the Indonesian archipelago. The capital Jakarta tends toward a heavier version with rice cakes and potatoes, while West Java versions lean more on raw vegetables. The Indonesian government has officially recognized gado-gado as one of the country's national dishes, a reflection of how deeply it is woven into everyday life there. Olivier salad. In Russia and across Eastern Europe and Central Asia, no holiday table is complete without this dish. It was originally created by a Belgian chef named Lucien Olivier in Moscow in the 1860s, served at an upscale restaurant called the Hermitage. The original recipe was extravagant and secretive, reportedly featuring game birds, crayfish tails, and caviar. Over time, as the recipe passed into home cooking during the Soviet era, it was simplified dramatically. Cooked potatoes, carrots, peas, hard-boiled eggs, pickles, and either bologna-style sausage or chicken, all bound together with generous amounts of mayonnaise. This humbler version became the true soul food of the Soviet household. Today it is made in virtually every home from Russia to Kazakhstan to Ukraine every New Year's Eve, and it carries deep emotional associations with family, celebration, and memory.